Shady. I'm thinking about it now. They're 8-0. The Eagles won a Super Bowl a couple years ago, but they didn't even start 8-0 that season.
Okay.
What in the world could stop the Eagles?
Oh, that's a good question. Nothing. There's nothing you can do to beat us, to stop us. The only thing I think can stop the Eagles is probably the Eagles, right? I think if we turn the ball over, if we don't get turnovers, I watched earlier in the game where the Texans were running the ball up and down the field, right? Now, granted, my big dog wasn't there. Jordan Davis wasn't there. So I kind of could see that a little bit. But other than that, it's really about us. And that's the scary thing, is that you don't have to worry about no part of your team on the defense, on the offense, special teams, turnovers, none of that. You just got to worry about handling business up front, catching the ball, the small things, the basics, tackling, catching, because we are the real deal. And everybody knows it. And listen, 7-0 or 6-0, 7-0, 8-0, another one, 9-0, and then before you know it, we'll be undefeated for the whole year. So Philadelphia Eagles, nothing to worry about, baby. Just stick to the basics, play football, and win games.
2-5. I think one thing and one place could stop the Eagles. One thing, one place. You could say one person in one place.
Okay.
Dak Prescott and or the Super Bowl. Listen to me, 2-5. Listen to me, 2-5.
I didn't even say that. That wasn't even me.
Listen to me.
That wasn't even me.
Are you serious? I am.
Oh.
I think Dak Prescott is the only person that has enough help and has enough talent to stop him. Kirk Cousins ain't going to stop the Eagles. We saw what happened when the Vikings played the Eagles. Tom Brady doesn't have enough help. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have enough help. Marcus Mariota, I don't think he has it, nor does he have enough help.
Okay.
The Saints, they ain't got it.
Right.
The San Francisco 49ers, I just need to see them get healthy. I'll talk more about them later.
Okay.
But Dak Prescott is the only quarterback I think that has enough heart and has enough help to stop the Eagles. Dak Prescott does not get punked. He doesn't. We know how much Dak Prescott has been through on the field and off the field. He don't get punked, and he has enough help in Micah Parsons, et cetera, not to mention divisional game. But more than divisional game, he got enough heart and help. Otherwise, it's the Super Bowl. A team in the AFC is what I mean when I say that, when I say the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott and the Super Bowl, I think the only thing that could stop the Eagles, because Kirk Cousins ain't doing it, Brady ain't doing it, Rodgers ain't doing it, Mariota ain't doing it, ain't nobody else doing it.
So you can see us going to the Super Bowl, you're saying, too.
No question.
Okay.
No question, Coach.
Okay,
No doubt
well, it's
about
like, okay, I get
we
you.
close. We just not, you know what I'm saying? He's not there. Joy, what is stopping the Eagles?
I very much have Eagles colors on.
You do. You do.
Yeah, you're a smart girl.
This is a different green. This isn't. This is not Eagles green.
That's a little closer to like Packers green.
Ooh, I don't know if I like that either. Go ahead though.
We all make choices. I don't think anything's stopping the Eagles before the Super Bowl. Now, to be clear, I don't think the Eagles will go undefeated. I don't think they need to go undefeated during the regular season in order for me to keep this same opinion. It's remarkable that they have the record that they do this far in the season. It's commendable. They're the best team in the league. They continue to win in different ways. As you mentioned, it looked a little shaky there for a couple minutes last night. It was like, oh, you know. But the Texans are a bad team, but the Texans got pride.
Yeah.
We've seen some really bad teams in NFL history before, and we look at the matchups and we watch them play, and we're like, they don't even really feel like they're inspired. They're going to give you a game, or at least they're going to try to. They run the ball hard. Davis Mills is interesting. Lovey ain't playing no games. He's out there trying to win.
Beard look good.
It does look good. I think you keep it. It looks good. So that was a good win for the Eagles last night, even if it was over a bad team. You got to be able to overcome, get some different things thrown at you, and that's what I like about what the Eagles continuously do. They win in different ways. They win through the air. They win with their legs. They play hard. They play smart. They're well coached. They adjust. And what I love most about the Eagles is they really have leadership. The way Jalen talks about this team, the way he talks about being undefeated, it's very poised. It's not dramatic. It's very confident. It's similar to Tua talking about the Super Bowl. It's just a little confidence, a little nudge. We know what we're doing. We know what we're here to do. We're not worried about regular season stuff. We're worried about the big picture. So I don't think anything can stop the Eagles until they get to the Super Bowl.
I had to check my phone real quick just to see what day it was, because like we're over here, like I'm like, man, it must be Christmas right now. Like it must be right around playoff time. It's November 4th. The Eagles have played less than half of the games that they have to play to even get through the regular season. How are we sitting here saying what's going to stop the Philadelphia Eagles as if it's like ordained that they will be in this? It was written on high that the Eagles will be in the. Get out of here. Look, no, you can't even call me a hater. You can't even do it. I said Jalen is the MVP today. Jalen Hurts would be the MVP. I'd vote for him if the season ended today. It doesn't.
Put that in them notes.
Do it. I already said that. They're one of the 3 best teams in the league. Can't we just be impressed with that? Look at this. Look at this. 8 teams have started 8-0 over the last 10 years. 4 of them lost their first game in the playoffs. And only 3 of the 8 even got to the Super Bowl. Let me double check. None of them won it. Not even the 2015 Panthers, who started 14-0 and finished 15-1, got there, didn't win. Look at the playoff. Like, this Eagles team, this is going to sound like an insult. Give me 1 sec.
Go ahead.
This is going to sound like an insult. This Eagles team reminds me a lot of the Cowboys last year in the sense that I don't know what adversity they have faced. I really don't. Like, they've got an 8-0 record. They were pushed a little bit by the Arizona Cardinals. Other than that, they've been very efficient. I don't think they've really had to sweat a win, which is impressive in and of itself. But what about when you go up against somebody who's a little bit better?
I got a question then, because you're statistically saying that 80% of the time over the last 10 years, a team starts 8-0. If I heard that right.
There's been an 8-0 team 8 times since 2013.
So 80% of the time. So then is it not that impressive to you? If it happens 80% of the time, is the Eagles' 8-0 record not that impressive to you?
I don't even, like, because I try to avoid sounding like a hater. It's impressive. They've got the best record in the NFL. It is hard to do.
If it's done 80% of the time, I do think that discredits it like a little bit. I do think
it's hard to do, but it happens every year. That's what Acho is basically saying.
You're playing with the numbers, though. So find me a team that well, a good record from, I don't know, for the first 8 games, right, that wins championships. If you can find that number.
I mean, in the last,
over
the last 20 years, the 2006 Colts and the 2009 Saints started 8-0 and won the Super Bowl. Like, it does happen, but being 8-0 halfway through the season is not an indicator that you'll even be there at the end of the season.
Joey, starting 8-0 is good to me, right?
Of course.
If I could be on the team, we start 8-0, I would take that.
Mm-hmm. That's not the question, though.
Number 2, you compare us to the Cowboys last year.
Yeah.
We're way different. We're coached way better, right? We're a lot smarter football team. We don't just have a whole bunch of dumb penalties.
That's fair.
That's not how we play ball. Right? And we play team ball. Defense, y'all hold it down for us. We need a turnover, get the turnover. We need a touchdown and convert on turnovers. We do that. That's what a real team is. You get turnovers, that's cool. But are you getting points off the turnovers? As you seen last night, we did that. So I just want you guys to just be respectful, please. When we talk about Philadelphia Eagles, just be respectful. Like,
what do you think is disrespectful? Where's the disrespect?
Well, you compare us to the Cowboys, right?
Cowboys went 12-5 last year.
Let's start at 7-1.
Yeah. And then what happened? Got in the playoffs, they got.
But that's the point I think he's trying to make.
The difference is, like, okay, so we talked the quarterback. I thought the biggest difference from the Cowboys to the Eagles, just player-wise, was probably the quarterback. I don't think Dak's like super good like he does, but I think Dak is good.
Yep.
I think Jalen was kind of learning. He was young. He was a young quarterback. It happens. Now that he's arrived, we a whole different team. Our GMs is a lot better than the Cowboys.
True.
Look at our roster. See, one thing about football, I love to compare the rosters. I can't think of another team put together like the Eagles.
Really? You believe that?
I mean, like, who up with
49ers? Bills?
49ers?
Yep.
That's about it. The McCaffrey trade kind of put it. But where else? That's it.
Buffalo Bills.
They're a good team, but that roster not better than the Eagles.
I want to see the Eagles play against a team that can score with them. And maybe I'll give the Eagles the benefit of the doubt and say, maybe they're good enough that team doesn't exist, but I doubt it. And my thing is, look, I wrote this down. It's very impressive the way the Eagles play. It's honestly kind of unique for the NFL. Like, the Eagles remind me more of like a very dominant college team in the sense, look, these are their scoring drives last night. 18 plays, 10 plays.
I love it.
2 plays, which came off of a pick that they got from Houston in the red zone, and then another 10 plays. Like, they grind the ball down the field. They eat up clock. It's rare this season that you see the Eagles go zipping up and down the field 3, 4, 5, 6 plays at a time. It's not a bad thing, but if you're going against Josh Allen or somebody like that, I'd like to see you be able to do that.
It's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. We're talking about playoffs, right? That's playoff defense.
That's playoff football.
Playoff defense. Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes, superstar quarterbacks, right? Lights out. How you defend them? Obviously by defense.
Keep the ball.
So now we showed last week that we can score in 2-3 plays up top. A.J. Brown, mossed on 1, 2, 3, all 3 of y'all. Or we can have 10-play drives, 12-play drives, eating the clock up. As an offense, when we were like super efficient with the Eagles, with Mike Vick that year, when we went, we were 4-12, but we started out like 4-1, right? But we were setting offensive records. And teams were trying to defend us, so it's like, how can we defend this team? Especially with Chip Kelly. That year went to the playoffs, we were lights out. Other offenses, what they would do was they would slow the game down, right? Take the shot clock or the play clock all the way down.
That's what Houston was trying to do.
So my thing is now, look at the offense. Well, we eating the clock up. We scoring drives, and we taking, 5, 6 minutes off the clock? That's hard to do, so that's playoff football.
Joy, did yesterday's game give you more concern about the Eagles, or did it give you more confidence? Through the first half of the game, the Texans played the Eagles perfectly. Tied up in Houston. Obviously, the Texans only gave the Eagles 3 possessions, forced a turnover. I was watching that game, and I was like, I like the strategy. Let's see if the Texans can keep it up. It gave me confidence because I was like, the Eagles, you couldn't have played worse, and you still won by double digits. But what did it give you, concern or confidence?
No, I don't get concerned about what you play halfway through a game. How do you finish a game? You're allowed to get scored on by another NFL offense. Like, for how bad the Texans are, like I said to start the show, they play with pride. Like, they're not just going out there mailing it in just because they know that the Eagles are a better team than them. That's why that first half went that way. And then, of course, you have more talent. You have more cohesion. You have a better team altogether. You have a better game plan. Then you win the game. And that's what happened. But give the Texans some respect. They're still an NFL team. They still have a real coach. They still have some real players who are playing for their future as well. So I don't get caught up in like, oh, the first half, blah, blah, blah. How'd they finish the game? Quite convincingly. There was nothing to talk about in the second half that wasn't Eagles football. I think you made a great point, Shady. Looking at
thank you, Joy. Sorry, thank you.
You're right, though, because that is the best defense for players like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. What's the best way to hold them back? They're not on the field. They're on the sideline watching.
Getting cold.
Yes, exactly. That's the best defense you can have. So if you can win over the top, which we know they can, but if you can also grind down the clock, that's crucial. So there's nothing about the Eagles that I can truly poke a hole in. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.